I just wanted to make a little video to show you how I get ready for raids and give you guys something to compare to. There's plenty of stuff on the forums, but this is a US guild, and we're all too lazy to read, right? So let's give a video a go. The first thing that I do is I turn off all the channels that are going to distract me during the raid. It doesn't matter what's going on in trade or world. This is going to allow me to see anything that's important that's been typed out during the raid, and I won't miss any of the gear that I need to roll on. One of our biggest issues is having people show up on time. We have some East Coasters, some West Coasters, and some people in the middle. So when the East Coasters are already ready, the West Coasters are barely getting home for work. So if you know that you're going to show up at home right at raiding time, log out where the raid is going to begin. So let's get to the good stuff and show you what I use for consumables. I carry an excessive amount of stacks. This is probably overkill. But this allows me that if I die on trash, that I can go ahead and pop more pots. But if you don't have an alchemist, like I used to not, 2 stacks will probably get you through a full run, if you use them for bosses only. One thing that everybody should do, and it's not hard, I leveled it in like 2 hours, is everybody should level cooking. Like this guy wants a screenshot, he's been jumping up in front of me like an hour. As I put in the forums, if you actually read the forums, we have about 10 to 12 melee in our raids. That's 20 strength for every melee equals X amount of attack power. That's a lot of DPS on the boss, and if only 2 of the melee actually have that buff, then we're missing that much attack power and damage on the boss. There's also plenty of cooks in the guild that would be happy to make this stuff for you. Try to do it before raid, not during the raid is preferably, because the downtime we're trying to cut back on. Another easy consume that a lot of people don't know about, and even I just learned about, is the Rumsey rum. You don't have to buy that crap for 2, 3, 4 gold a stack out of the auction house. You get it from the bartender in South Shore. So now you have extra stam. Help the healers out, especially the melee. They've got so much focus on the tanks. If you had 100 to 1,000 extra health every time, it makes a big difference. I recommend that all the rogues carry Thistle Tea. I've been giving it out because I don't know who has and who hasn't got it yet. But eventually, you guys, try to get it for yourselves. Eventually, we're going to be in AQ40 and see all this extra stuff that I carry for extra people, pots included, is going to be taken up by nature resistance. So the next time somebody asks me, hey, you got, an extra fire pot or you got extra flash powder, I'm probably going to tell you no. Fire pots. They're not that expensive, but they're not that cheap. I can make them and I will sell them. I will sell them at a very low cost. If you tell me in advance, I will get you fire pots. Don't try to wait to the last second, right before a boss, to ask me to buy a pot, and or if I have an extra one to spare. I don't mind doing this, even though we've been raiding for Blackwing Lair for a month now. This distracts me, and sometimes I'll forget to do something for myself, whether it be a buff food or just to simply stealth before the pull. Magic resistant pots. That's probably the easiest mats to farm. Same as the fire pots. If you ask me, if you can't get your hands on any or they're too expensive, let somebody know. Let me know. I will sell them really cheap. I'll sell them dirt cheap compared to the fire pots because the mats are so easy to farm. There's no excuse for people to be going out without fire pots or magic resistance pots. Like I said before, we're progressing fast and we've been in Blackwing Lair for over a month. You guys should be coming prepared. Every time we go to Vale, and I hear Pronator saying there's 12 people without buffs, or there's 13 people without buffs, this is ridiculous. If you guys want to be serious and progress, then this shouldn't even have to be an issue. Now, for the melee, as a rogue, and probably the warriors too, I carry Elixir of Giants. Those are a little more on the expensive side. They take Grom's Blood to make, which everyone knows the price of Grom's Blood. It's ridiculous. And if you try to go farm it, you probably get a dagger in your back from a botting rogue. But try to get your hands on some, because they do make a huge difference. There's almost 100 attack power right there. The Mongoose are a little easier to get, they're a little cheaper, and they're not that bad. I usually carry a lot of extras. If you catch me before the raid, I'll be willing to sell them to you very cheap. Less than the auction house. I always keep about an extra 10 on my bank alt. Now these both together, there's another 20, but the big issue with the Mongoose is the crit. Another thing that I like to carry that isn't really necessity, but it still, again, helps the healers out. I carry major healing potions. These, if you can't get your hands on any, let me know. I farm them by the hundreds. If you need major healing potions, and your excuse is, I couldn't get any, that's not an excuse anymore. Finally, let's talk about class-specific items. I don't see how people forget these. We use them for farming, 5-mans, PvP, but yet people still do. Such as the rogues, flash powder. I can't imagine how anybody could run out of flash powder. Once in a great while I can understand, but I am constantly giving this out during raids. And for the first fight in Blackwing Lair, it is a must. We have a very important role. Try to remember your class-specific stuff such as flash powder and or poisons. Unless you have crit stones, there is no reason you should be forgetting poisons. Same with the buff items that the healers use to buff people. Come prepared. Have plenty of the reagents you need to get through a full raid. We've been doing it a month. You know about how much you need. If we get towards the end of a raid and you run out at the last minute or, 20 minutes before we're done, I can understand. But right when you start the raid, that's uncalled for. Another thing that helps out the healers is bring bandages. A stack of 20 is probably good, but the AV rep is very easy to get to friendly. And the bandages stack in 100. So it saves room on your bags. Another thing that people need to remember is the little things. Dagger for the Vale fight. For everybody it's going to be something different. The Oni Cloak. I forgot my Oni Cloak one night. And instead of holding the raid back saying, oh, can I get a lock to summon me? I forgot my cloak. I just suffered without it. And that needs to be done because we're wasting too much time on stuff like this. Another thing, durability. Come to a raid with 100% durability on your gear. I come to every Blackwing Lair with one repair bot. The wires are a pain in the ass to farm. So I always drop this right before Chromag. Anything sooner could hold us back. Because if, like the priest or the rogues that tend to die, if we drop one sooner, and then later on I'm at 40% durability and we take on Chromag, this could put us in a bind. And that concludes how I prepare for raids. I hope it helps, and I hope people actually go to the forums and maybe give us some of your own tips or own thoughts on any of the things that I've said. Have fun raiding.